is justice denied. William Ewart Gladstone served for 12 years as a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. His popularity amongst the working class earned him the sobriquet, the People's William. A drama is the mirror of reality which we meet every day in our life. It's also the inspiration for someone to innovate. The stage is set, the cast is ready, the audience is buzzing with anticipation. What could possibly be more exciting than this? At this moment, it's time for our subsequent act, that is, play titled Truth Alone Triumphs.
நடந்தது என்ன? 18 ஆண்டுகளின் தவம், கோபம், ஆதங்கம், போராட்டம் எதுவாக வேண்டுமானாலும் இருக்கட்டும், நீதி தேவதையின் கண்கள் கட்டப்பட்டிருந்தனவோ? இதனால் இந்தியாவின் முன்னேற்றம் என்ன ஆயிற்று? 5 லட்சமோ 10 லட்சமோ 1 கோடியோ கண்ட இழப்பீடை சரி கட்டுமோ? இந்தியா மகுடம் சூட்டிக்கொள்ளும் GSLV மற்றும் PSLVயின் ஃபோர்ஃபாதர், தற்போது இயங்கும் கிரையோஜெனிக் இன்ஜினின் முன்னோடி, கனவு காணுங்கள் என்று கூறிய டாக்டர் APJ அப்துல் கலாமின் ஆசான் டாக்டர் நம்பி நாராயணன் அரசியல் சூழ்ச்சியால் பொய்யான குற்றச்சாட்டிற்கு ஆளாகி தனது அயராத போராட்டத்தால் தன்மேல் விழுந்த அபாண்டமான உளவாளி குற்றச்சாட்டை 18 ஆண்டுகள் போராடி வென்ற ஒரு இஸ்ரோ விஞ்ஞானியின் கதை. வாருங்கள் காணுவோம் ஓர் உண்மை சம்பவத்தை.
Truth alone triumphs. After years of hibernation, the espionage case that shook India has come to limelight. Through this skit, we try to unravel the role of prime characters involved in the case: the spies, scientists, police, investigators, politicians, media personnel, and of course the intelligence sleuths. This play throws light on some internal politics and inflated egos that stood in the way of India's great leaps. Though this espionage has been discussed, debated, written and rewritten for more than 2 decades, the real climax came on the eve of 2014 Lok Sabha polls. Its echoes were heard in the political horizon when a national party coined a slogan, "Justice for the scientist and punishment to a top cop who investigated the case." Well, the apex court ordered the Kerala state to pay a compensation of rupees 50 lakhs. Who is the scientist? Why should the Kerala government give a compensation? And what is all about? Keep your fingers crossed. Scene 1.
Hello, could you please connect me to Mr. Richard?
Good morning, I'm Richard here.
Mr. Richard, you have to urgently report to the headquarters.
Yes, sir. May I know the purpose so that I can be prepared?
You may be aware of arrest of Maldivian ladies in Trivandrum. It is suspected to be a typical spy case. They have to be thoroughly interrogated.
But sir, why should I report?
Mr. Richard, we want experienced interrogators. An espionage case in God's own country. I have a lot of work to complete. To get in touch with outstation officer selected for the task, then constitute interrogation teams and liaise with police. You know, only few to say are with me for this marathon process. When are you going to report?
Sir, I'm sorry. I have to attend the reorientation course in Delhi, for which I have made all travel arrangements.
Nothing doing. Don't you know the importance of this task? You were selected by our boss. You know, there would not be any excuse before him. He will talk to Delhi and settle the matter. Nobody will chop off your head for not attending the course.
Then fine, sir. If the big boss interferes in the matter, why should I fear? I'll cancel the train ticket for Delhi and take a ticket for Trivandrum today itself.
That's a wise decision, Mr. Richard. Thank you.
Scene 2.
Who are these Maldivian ladies? Some vernacular dailies hastily describe them as real moles, infiltrated by a hostile neighbor to collect intelligence on India's vital strategic installations. Hmm, including Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. Hmm, interesting. Some say they were arrested for overstay in the city. Hmm. And yet, another version says they are on a special mission to detect information on resident Maldivians in South India plotting against Abdul Gayoom, hmm, the president of Maldives. But how the stories made headlines in the print media? Did the initial investigators treat the espionage suspect as petty criminals? In fact, I cannot come to a grave conclusion without any logic.
Mr. Richard, Chandrasekharan has started to spill the beans. His sensitive disclosure will further strengthen our case. The inspiration for the same came to our mind when Alex Vasin of GK confided to us that Dr. Nambi Narayanan, the senior scientist of ISRO who had technical and other information on cryogenic engines and related projects, secretly passed such information to various foreign agencies and space establishments on payments.
Oh, what else did he claim?
Chandrasekhar, speak to him.
Sir, during the first week of December 1993, I visited Trivandrum and stayed in Hotel Fort Manor along with the Russian delegation of GK. Dr. Nambi Narayanan, who used to liaise with such delegation to discuss project details, was also staying in same hotel. I incidentally met Fauzia along with a minor girl in the room of Nambi Narayanan. Can I have some water?
Scene 3.
Seems that Chandrasekhar wove stories, mixing up truths and typical lies. Of course, it was true that Nambi Narayanan used to liaise with visiting Russian delegations. But the statement he had seen Fauzia with a minor girl in Nambi's room is totally fabricated.
But how do you say that?
He wanted to involve Nambi Narayanan in the case because the Hotel Fort Mano, which he refers to, was not operational at that time. Then the question doesn't arise regarding the presence of Fauzia in the hotel along with the minor girl. The espionage story presented by Chandrasekharan needs a lot of probe to ascertain its veracity.
Mr. Richard, you draft the report immediately as our boss wanted to communicate the same to Delhi at the earliest.
Sir, yes, but I feel that many of the disclosures are mere cock and bull stories, probably to escape from the heat of interrogation. How can we send such stories to Delhi without verification?
Not at all. Our state chief has cleared that all such disclosures would be promptly communicated to our senior bosses in Delhi. Let them decide the immediate course of action.
I guess the officer has preconceived notions and convictions how erratically the responsible law enforcement and intelligence officers ordained to work for the security of the nation and safety of people behave and get influenced by the gossips of fancy stories of media. Why do they link the names of innocent and reputed person to the so-called spy case?
Mr. Richard, our team has just arrested Nambi from his house. He will be brought here at any time.
Scene 4.
Do you know why you are brought here? You know why you are brought here. You should tell us why you are brought here.
Hey, Singh Sahib. Be patient. He'll tell everything.
Mr. Singh, what drama are you staging here? Is that how you people interrogate a fellow who betrayed the nation? See how relaxed and composed he is. Throw away his glossy shirt and trouser. Let him remain naked, then he will speak the truth. Hey, great scientist, I ask you to remove your clothes, or else I will ask my men to strip you fully. Yes, this is the way that we have to deal with traitor like you. You stand up in this posture and tell the truth to our interrogators.
Now, may I ask you as why I am brought here?
Mr. Nambi, don't try to be oversmart. You are no longer the great scientist of ISRO, but a wretched traitor booked by us. You come down from the glass house and cooperate with us, or else your fate will be tragic.
You people are calling me traitor time and again, but let me know what treason have I committed. Serving ISRO for many decades with dedication and commitment.
You traitor! How dare you question us, sir? You should not ask question, but only speak.
Sir, please, be seated, sir. Please be seated. Please do speak, Mr. Nambi. The situation is absolutely critical.
Born as the only son of a petty oil merchant in Nagarkoil, I was the only educated of my family. My 4 sisters, not having much education, were married and settled. Some of them are still engaged in the making and selling of earthen pots for livelihood. I married Meena of Trivandrum in 1967. We have a son named Sankar Kumar and a daughter Geeta, who is married to Arun, now working as an engineer in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. My son has completed master degree in commerce and employed in KEK Associates. He also has an LPG dealership from Spik Jyoti for Trivandrum North area. I built my residential house in 8.5 cents of plot at Perindani area in Trivandrum in 1979, for which I availed house building advance of over rupees 1 lakh from ISRO, besides funds from PF. I got a small plot of ancestral property in Trivandrum.
Ha! Who is going to believe this story? We have specific information that you have huge deposits in half a dozen banks.
In one respect, you are correct. Yes, I have accounts in 5 banks. But except the account in which my salary is credited, the outstanding balance in all other accounts is less than rupees 1000. I will give the details and you can check the same.
What about your salary and other perks from ISRO, Mr. Nambi?
I am working as Deputy Director in Liquid Propulsion System Center at Trivandrum in the grade of Scientist H with a basic pay of rupees 7,300 per month. The total salary, inclusive of all allowances, would be around rupees 10,000.
Fine. Then how did you enter into ISRO?
After graduating in mechanical engineering in 1965, I joined Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station in September 1966 as technical assistant. On promotion as Scientist C in 1967, I joined Space Science and Technology, which was renamed as VSSC in 1973, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. I was mainly assigned with the task of developing Rohini series rockets using solid propulsion method. Later, I concentrated in liquid propulsion system. Major turning point in my career was the 1-year program in Princeton University in USA for the advanced research in the field of solid propulsion. Under the guidance of Professor Martin Summerfield, once fully convinced that liquid propulsion is the ideal technology for ISRO, I switched over to that field.
My knowledge and expertise in the field of propulsion had been enhanced through my 2 months exposure in France. During 1971, under ISRO CNES collaboration, on return to India, I could successfully launch the first liquid propulsion rocket of 600 kg. In 1974, our aim was to acquire Viking engine from France and indigenously develop it in ISRO. Thus, a team of 40 to 50 engineers of ISRO went to France to acquire the technology, and I headed the team. My sole aim is to take Indian space technology to new heights. All the documents and drawings from France were sent through the diplomatic bag of the Embassy of India in France. Even Mr. T.N. Seshan, the then Space Secretary, Government of India, was aware of such activities.
I agree, Mr. Nambi. If such large number of senior bureaucrats and space scientists were well aware of your credentials and high integrity, why none of them has come forward to defend you?
That's a genuine question. The truth is that you people have created a espionage and treason through orchestrated propaganda and campaign with help of media and other forces. In such a scenario, who will try to burn their fingers by openly defending a person with a label as traitor?
Well, what happened to those documents and drawings?
On my return to India, our team made use of these drawings for the development of Vikas engine, which was later renamed as Viking engine. However, all was not well with my professional side.
I don't get your statement.
I became a victim of the ego and professional rivalries of my senior bosses. This led to an in-house vigilance probe against me. The director was waiting for an opportunity to fix me under one pretext or other and dislodge me from my assignment. My senior officials joined hands with the director and framed charges against me. Instead of ascertaining the real facts or collecting evidence against the allegations of bribery, they transferred me from the active post of the project director of PS2 of VSSC.
Did they detain you completely?
No, they couldn't. I approached the chairman for a full-fledged inquiry, based on which I was reinstated in my original assignment.
So, Mr. Nambi, you have successfully defended your case. Am I right?
Yes, how can I leave my passion? Let go. After successful launch of PSLV-D2 in 1994, a combination of liquid and solid propulsion system of my interests were more in the area of liquid propulsion and cryogenic engines. In cryogenic engines, liquid propulsion system is used with liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen at very low temperature. Only a few countries such as USA, USSR, France, China and Japan have this technology. India is striving hard to develop this technology for its Geosynchronized Satellite Launch Vehicle GSLV program.
Then why the project did not progress further?
ISRO entered into an agreement with the Russian firm GK for providing technology transfer and supply of 3 cryogenic engines. But in 1992 to 93, Russians breached the contract under American pressure, saying that they have restrictions on the transfer of technology. But before the breach of contract, ISRO had received some drawings of the components. The big question was whether they could indigenously develop cryogenic engines with such incomplete drawings.
Oh, thus you thought of making quick money by selling out these incomplete drawings to interested parties, especially after your decision to take voluntary retirement from ISRO.
Sir, that was totally untrue. I have never thought of doing such things in my life. There were compelling reasons for my decision to apply for voluntary retirement. I was feeling dejected with my work due to domestic official reasons.
Let's break this silence. Did you come across the Maldivian ladies during this period?
I don't know who fabricated this story. I have never met these ladies in my life.
Scene 5.
Good morning, Mr. Nambi. Hope you're fine. Please have your breakfast. An experienced scientist like you can never lose hope. How many times you tried your best for a successful PSLV launch mission? This is yet another challenge in your personal life.
Who said that I was running away from this challenge? I have nothing more to discuss with your people. I have nothing more. I have said everything to your people who didn't allow me to close my eyes for a second night. Whatever I reveal from the bottom of my heart, you people will treat them as story.
But still, we haven't got a clear picture.
If I continue to scuff the bottom of the bowl with this spoon, can you expect any more gruel?
No, how is that possible? Sounds silly.
This is the way what you people are treating me. I have divulged everything that I know, but you are not satisfied. You are interested to get my disclosures on suggested lines. Yesterday's entire exercise was on that direction and they finally succeeded.
Scene 6, December 3rd, 1994. The CBI has taken over the investigation of the case. If you see the video of Fauzia, you can see her hesitating because she did not know the name of Sree and Nambi Narayanan. They had written the names on a piece of paper and she had to keep wearing her spectacles to read. And because of that, there are many cuts in the video. It could be seen that the interrogation was in a hurry. It must be a systematic procedure. Whether it had truths, half-truths, or cock and bull stories, who knows? And due to lack of any specific evidence as attributed by the initial investigators and agencies, a set of political leaders and police officers from behind the curtain used the legal fraternity to steer off the case in pursuance of their motives. And if you see, they wanted to unseat Mr. Karnakaran, the Chief Minister of Kerala, from his power by linking Srivastava to the spy case, as he is a close associate of the Chief Minister. After custodial interrogation for more than 15 days and another 16 months, an investigation, a refer report is submitted to CJM Ernakulam, saying the spy case was false. Cochin-based Niyamavadi Lawyers Forum gave a writ to the director of CBI New Delhi to arrest Raman Srivatsav IPS and direction to the state of Kerala to suspend and remove him from service. An appeal was filed on 21st December 1994. After a detailed judgment, Kerala High Court dismissed the case on 13th January 1995. Well, the Supreme Court, through the judgment, puts the final seal on the ongoing litigation on the ISRO case. Scientist Nambi Narayanan fought to ensure victims' rights and public justice. However, these proceedings did not deter the indomitable spirit of Nambi Narayanan to continue his legal crusade. He approached National Human Rights Commission in 1995. Again in 1996, September 6th, National Human Rights Commission, on the basis of their finding, stated that there was gross violation of human rights of the complaint by officers of Kerala Police and the Investigation Bureau ordered the Kerala government to release a compensation of rupees 10 lakhs. It also advised the Union Home Ministry to hold an inquiry and identify the officials who had committed the exercises and also favored appropriate disciplinary and criminal action against them. The issues raised by Nambi Narayanan is in the aforementioned appeal in the apex court assume considerable importance on many grounds. So, examining every point raised by the Kerala police and IB, there is no evidence to substantiate the charges. The ISRO scientists were not found to have passed on any drawings or documents to anyone. No significant document from ISRO was missing. The meetings where the documents were allegedly exchanged for money at hotels in Trivandrum and Chennai were found to have not happened. Neither any incriminating document nor money, Indian or foreign, was recovered from the scientist. A scrutiny of their bank accounts did not indicate anything suspicious. To sum up, the evidence on record, oral as well as documentary as discussed, the allegations of espionage are not proved and have been found to be false. Scene 7. The final judgment.
The final judgment, 14 September 2018. It is like the Battle of Armageddon, a historic legal battle of Nambi Narayanan for war, 2 decades against the alleged preparators of his arrest and humiliation. The air is filled with the great suspense and anxiety. Nambi Narayanan, the crusader of the battle with his wife and other family members, are eagerly waiting for the final judgment. The 3-member bench of the Supreme Court, headed by Chief Justice Deepak Misra.
Based on the findings of the final report, torture is a wound in the soul of painful that sometimes one can almost teach it, but it's also so intangible that there is no way to heal it. The liberty and dignity of an appellant, which are the basic to human rights, were jeopardized as we taken into custody despite all glory of the past. He was compelled to face cynical abhorrence. The situation invites public law remedy for grant of compensation for the violation of fundamental rights enshrined under Article 21 of the Constitution. Thus, there can be no scintilla of doubt that the appellant, a successful scientist with a national reputation, has been compelled to undergo immense humiliation. The lackadaisical attitude of the police to arrest anyone and put him in the police custody has made the appellant to suffer ignominy. The dignity of a person is shocked when a psychological treatment is meted out to him. A human being cries for justice when he feels that the insensible act has crucified his self-respect. We are absolutely conscious that the civil suit has been filed for grant of compensation. The court cannot lose sight of wrongful confinement, malicious prosecution, the humiliation and the defamation faced by the appellant The appellant is proved to be innocent and the court slap a compensation of rupees 50 lakhs to the Kerala government and ensure that the money is credited in Mr. Nambi Narayanan's bank account within the stipulated time.
Sir, you have won the battle. How do you feel now?
Yes, I'm happy with the verdict. But the ISRO spy case of 1994 not only finished the career of India's scientists by implicating us as spies, but also put the country's cryogenic engine development program on hold for more than 19 years. The program could have saved India millions of dollars.
Sir, how did you overcome the torture of the police?
I don't want to talk about the interrogation and torture, but it keeps haunting me. My family went through a terrible time and my wife had to take treatment for mental instability. We are loving integrated family, but the whole thing has been shattered forever. Today we are putting up a brave front, but it is just a facade, a mask which we wear ever in front of each other. This battle is for two causes. Cause 1, bring to book the officers of IB and Kerala police who foisted the ISRO spy case. Cause 2, expose the master conspirators of the case that affected the morale of Indian space scientists and slowed down the nation's leap in space. Jai Hind.
Who should be blamed for this? Who will own responsibility to such serious aberrations which has shaken the pillars of the democratic institutions? Think, because it's the need of the heart.
Audience, please give a big round of applause. விண்வெளித்துறையின் வித்தக தமிழர் நம் நம்பி நாராயணன் அவர் நெருப்பாற்றில் நீந்தியது பற்றியும் சட்ட ரீதியாக போராடி வெற்றி அடைந்ததையும் எங்கள் கண்முன்னே எடுத்துரைமைக்கு நன்றி என் மாணவ செல்வங்களே. Sincere works based on truths always lead to success and bliss. Thank you children for your wonderful performance.